Hi, Will.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm in New York City. Just finished my running in the Central Park. Love it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you
So,
know why? Yeah, sorry.
no, go ahead.
You know why I'm so happy today? Because it's so great to travel only with your laptop and everything else is in the cloud. So I have the feeling that I know all my assets. What do you think?
I think that depends, right? I think when it comes to asset management, I think this is a topic that a lot of people could use a lot of help.
Yeah, you're right, because here is my phone, which I completely forgot. And should I take these headphones as asset as well? I don't know.
It could be, right? So with asset management, I think the big thing is the way I like to look at it is we have our buildings, right? We have our facilities. And then what is every system in that building? And then what applications are on those systems? And then what data is stored on each of those within each application? And then finally, who has access to it? Right. So when we talk about asset management, it's a holistic. It is, it's facilities, systems, software, people, data. And then you mentioned the cloud, only traveling with your laptop. Now with the cloud, it's even harder, right? Because do you know every SaaS application you're using that has company data? And then what is that
Hmm.
data? So the same rules apply to the cloud too.
Yeah, actually, I don't know how many software I have on my laptop. So in the cloud, oh, there are lots of.
Yeah. And so with security, when we look at asset management, it is we need to understand every employee, what their roles, what data they have, where that data is stored, so that we can design protections around it.
Yeah, how granular we should be, because it's like a never-ending story to understand everything, every assets, every software, every version.
I would say it depends on the company, right? So this is a business decision.
Mhm.
So when you look at, why do we do asset inventory? The first thing is so that we can architect a security plan around all the assets. And then we can plan contingencies, right? Contingencies for systems, for people. We do backups, but then we have to look at, okay, if there's a disaster and a person is not available, what is our contingency plan for that person's roles? So, I would say it depends because, does a headset need to be inventoried? Well, it could be because if the building is destroyed in a natural event like a tornado, like we've had here in Texas here recently, then you have to say, okay, if insurance is going to reimburse you for that, then
Mhm.
you need to know the value of that asset. It may not have data. It may not be tied to any security, but asset management should be holistic for the business, to include things that you would have on an insurance claim. And with cyber insurance, that includes data. So when we look at why we do it, that's one thing, so that we can, when we need to make a claim as a business owner, we know what assets we have so that we can get those replaced if need be.
And from cybersecurity perspective, I know that before you start assessing, you have to understand what you have, what you don't have. So, can you a little bit explain what is the process of how we start our cybersecurity program, how the asset management is taking part?
Sure. So as a CISO, the one thing that the way I look at cyber is, IT puts in systems that support business process. So a business, they have different products, different customers, different aspects of the business. And so that's the revenue generation, right? So in cyber, I view us as protecting revenue generation. And so, what I try to do as a CISO, the first thing is go in and talk with executive leadership and say, okay, what does the company do? How do we make money? And then step into saying, okay, now what systems support that? So if it's online sales, then we have the web sales portal, we have a CRM, we have maybe an ERP, we have all these tools that then support the making sales or e-commerce. And so that's how you can start picking out your critical assets, right? So it kind of starts with that discussion of leadership of what matters, and then stepping through each of those what matters, and then picking out your critical inventory. After you have the critical, the rest of it is, I would say, necessary, but not as critical. You have to know what you're going to design security protections for, and what those availability, confidentiality requirements for each of those systems. But as we get to the headsets, that really just comes to, does the business want to track it?
Mhm.
But I always start with the leadership. It becomes a leadership discussion, and then working backwards.
Yeah. Do you think it's important for any company? So let's say I'm a loyal company of 20 employees. Do you think that asset management or asset inventory is important? Although maybe I can just take the set of tools that the CISO is recommended, and it's enough just to put antivirus, EDR on the endpoints, and general protection on the cloud, etc. Is it
I,
really important for any company, any size, to do this asset management?
I think it is, right. So when we look at, let's take a small business. I have a lot of small business clients. And if we go in and say, we're going to sell a per seat or a per asset license, right? We want to understand that we have everything captured, because we don't want to have, let's say we sell 10 systems protection. We don't want to go in and then find out that they have 25 because they have some in a closet they forgot about
Mhm.
still plugged in, because then that would be, could be the source of a breach, because it's not being managed. So, the asset inventory, we do have some great tools, with the EDRs and the antiviruses, things like that, that we can go in and say, we have it on this system, but this system's talking to something. And so, these tools will tell us, here's some unmanaged assets. But then we need to get those into management. We need to understand what they are, what the security
Mhm.
risk is. So, I think some of these tools can help us automate it. So we can automate saying, here's what we see as the asset inventory. Customers may tell you we have 10 computers, but then with our tools, we go in and say, oh, no, you have 25.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so there is ways to automate inventory. Even the most basic, which we see in a lot of the compliance requirements, is like DHCP logging, right? So that can, just going to the DHCP server and looking at what is taking an IP address. Then it's on the network. It's an asset. So there are ways to automate that, but I do think even a small company, you want to capture that, because small companies are not immune to theft or to a laptop getting stolen from an employee's car, right? And if there's not good security hygiene, then all of that data becomes available for whoever took it.
Thank you, Will. I wish I had more time to talk, but I have to count all the software that I have on my laptop. I just got a message to do that. So great talking with you. And let's talk again later on another subject.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.